self-published it, and it's called #Actually I Can, The Art of Affirming Yourself to Greatness. And it's basically an affirmation Bible, but from the stance of like, stop faking it till you make it. Stop saying stupid affirmations that you don't believe that make you feel like a liar. And instead, say things that are actually true and expansive, and it will take you further in life. So it's kind of like an affirmation guidebook where there's a chapter on affirmations for love, affirmations for money, affirmations for health, affirmations for confidence. And then depending how you feel about that area of your life in that moment, you would flip to a page and it's like, these are the affirmations if you're feeling shitty about your love life that will help you feel less shitty. And then the next page is like, once you're feeling less shitty, here's some affirmations that will help you feel optimistic. And then once you're feeling optimistic, the next page is, here's some affirmations that will help you feel super excited about it. So it basically uses, have you ever heard of the emotional guidance scale from Abraham Hicks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it kind of combines the emotional guidance scale with affirmations. And the whole point is to not try and jump the vibrational Grand Canyon and think, I'm a millionaire when you feel super poor. It's to feel less poor, to feel more expansive, to feel more aligned with money, but also say things that your subconscious mind is not going to flag as untrue.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truth That Heals podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Anthony Hernandez, and today we have a special guest. She is also a podcaster. She is a co-host to Vibin, and she's also an author. She has a few books that are out, with one on the way. I'll allow her to tell you all about that. And she also is a coach, and we're going to talk all about her manifestation alignment coaching. So please welcome to the Truth That Heals podcast, our guest for today, Kelsey Aida. Kelsey, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Thanks, Ryan. I'm super excited to be here. It's a lovely Saturday. It's actually warm outside where I live, even in the dead of winter. So I'm happy for that. And I'm excited to chat with you about manifesting and all the good things.
Well, something that was pretty fun before this actual recording, before we hit record, I like to go over with each guest and get their names right, get the facts straight. And I was thinking that her name was pronounced Kelsey, but no, it's Kelsey. But I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Can't wait. I feel like we're gonna vibe it out good.
Awesome. So I wanted to get started with diving into the work that you do, because I mentioned in your little bio how you do manifestation alignment coaching. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, it's hard to put words on what I do because it's a little multifaceted and it took me a couple years just to even come up with the title like energetic alignment coach. But essentially, people come to me when they want to manifest something and they might feel like they're a little blocked in doing that. So maybe their goal is to heal their anxiety or depression, or maybe their goal is to make more money, or maybe their goal is to call in an aligned relationship. And then I help work with them on a mindset level, on an emotional level, on an energetic level to really line up with their specific goals and release any blockages or resistance so it can actually happen for them.
Well, and what got you started in focusing on this career path?
Yeah, so it it wasn't always like on my radar as a career to be like a healer teacher, but in my late like teens, early adulthood, my whole life, I was training to be a professional ballerina. So I was really hardcore in dance. I was training. I was like on that path, not like little kids who are like, I'm going to be a ballerina when I grow up, but I was actually like doing it. And then, of course, as many young ballet dancers do, I got injured. And that kind of sent me in a spiral because I felt like my whole life that was in front of me was just crumbling before my eyes. And I wasn't going to be able to dance professionally. So, who am I? What am I doing with my life? Why am I even here? I thought God put me on this great earth to be a dancer. Like, what the heck? And I spiraled into a long depressive episode. It was probably like 3 years that I was stuck in depression. And towards the end of it, I just like had this moment where I got sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time. And I was like, okay, I'm done feeling sorry for myself. I'm over being depressed. Like, I need to learn how to enjoy my life again. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Like, I cannot exist in this state anymore. Otherwise, it's going to get bad. Like, I'm contemplating suicide. Like, this is just not me. This is not it. So I kind of said like a Hail Mary prayer. And I was like, universe, God, whoever is up there, like, please just send help, send whatever. Like, I'll freaking do it. Just tell me what to do. I'll do it. I need to feel better. So after I said that, of course, I was sent the right support and resources. And I started working with a great therapist, and I started working with a shaman, which I would say is more like a spiritual therapist. And I started working out more, and I started doing everything to reverse the depression, basically. And that's when I really started learning about manifestation, energetics, healing, emotions, positive psychology, affirmations, all these tools, right? In the self help and spiritual fields. And I was using them and they were working for me. I was raising my vibration. I was feeling better. I was healing without medicine. And there was a turning point where I started a gratitude journal, which sounds so stupid and simple. But doing that for 3 weeks on top of everything else that I was doing really like put the nail on the coffin of my depression, and something just activated inside of me, and I was feeling so much better, like even better than I felt before I got sick. And I was like, why does everybody not have access to this information? Like, why is this not common knowledge that you can dig yourself out of a hole, that you can love your life again, that you can be more in control, that you can go for what you want? Like, what the heck? I was so inspired. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to be the next Deepak Chopra. I want to write books. I'm going to tell everyone what works, what doesn't, what's been working for me, what's been helping me. And that's what started me on the path of like being an author. And then that kind of evolved into, well, no one's going to read my books if they don't know who I am. So let me start a blog. And then people were asking for help. And then that turned into coaching. And then that evolved into retreats and the podcast. And so now it's this multifaceted thing. But at first, it just started like me wanting to share what worked.
Wow. So it starts off where you were having some difficulties in life in your personal journey. Then you throw out this Hail Mary to the universe, like, come on, help me out. Then we just see from there life starting to bloom into these different, and you said in the beginning, very multifaceted, where you have the life manifestation alignment coaching. You have also you're an author to a few books, and you're even doing a podcast. But not only that, but you were saying that even your own vibes started changing. Um, Wow, could you have ever seen this? Like, if I were to ask a younger Kelsey, one day you're going to be writing a book, one day you're going to be doing a podcast, was that ever on the radar for younger Casey, or would this sound like bizarre?
What was on the radar was a sense of purpose that was going to impact a lot of people. But I didn't know like what that was. And I always overlaid dance onto it. So I
Mm.
interpreted that feeling of bigness, of being known, as like, I'm going to be a famous ballerina because that's what I was doing. Right. But I think I've always had a sense that I was not destined for greatness in the corny way, but like destined to impact a lot of people. And I think my personality was built for like, I like to be seen and I like to talk to people and I like to be on stage. And so I think God blessed me with like what I needed to succeed in this work. Because for me, like, of course, I love helping people one on one. I love the coaching work, but it doesn't satisfy me. Like, I will not be satisfied until I help millions of people. Like, that's just in my DNA. That's been in me like since day one. And then once I decided to write books, a lot of my logic behind that was books are very accessible to people. Pretty much everyone who's an adult can read, so that's good. They can afford books versus like maybe a huge course or a retreat or whatever. And that's a really effective way to spread my message and my medicine, which is why I want to choose books as like my main platform. And then everything else kind of was born from that intention.
So in a moment, I want to get into the whole manifestation alignment. But before that, you've spoken about helping others with some of their blockages. Or is that correct? Am I saying that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Blockage? Okay,
Mhm.
with the blockages. But I'm wondering in your journey, and I don't want to get too deep, but if you can share maybe a little bit, were there any blockages that you were experiencing? And if so, what were they, and how did you plug it up,
Yeah,
unplug it.
yeah. So the biggest one that relates to the story was my identity shift from like, who am I if I'm not a dancer to like, I'm just me.
Mm.
Because when I was stuck in that idea of like, I'm only here to do dance, it's the only thing I'm good at. I thought that was my purpose. Now it's not happening. What the heck? Like, I was just so stuck in a victim mentality. And then when I was depressed, I was like identifying with the depression. Like, I'm a depressed person, I have depression. But something clicked one day, and I was like, depression it's kind of like a cold for your soul, right? Like when you get a cold, you're not like, I am my cold. You don't think the cold is never going to go away. You're not like freaking out that you're going to die. You're just like, okay, let me take a nap. Let me take some Dayquil. Let me drink more fluids. And in a couple days, I'll probably feel better. And when I started to think about the depression as like a cold for my soul, I separated from it a little bit, just enough to realize that I was not my depression. I'm not a depressed person. Like I'm in a temporary experience of being sick in my head. And when I made that shift, I kind of escaped from that blockage of like, I'm my depression. I should have been a dancer, blah, blah, blah. And I think that was the first big, like, erasing of a blockage that stopped me so I could step more into my purpose. But I mean, even today, like, I use the word blockage and resistance synonymously. So when you go for a goal, you usually think, oh, I want to manifest love, but I'm still traumatized from my last situationship. Or, oh, I want to manifest more money, but I think rich people are bad and I don't want to be like them. So then you're blocking money. So it's like, for me, even in doing this work, or for example, writing the book I've been working on, the manifesting fix, like resistance comes up still all the time. It's not that it doesn't come up, it's that I know how to work through it and I help myself through it. I literally have to coach myself through it some days. Like, for example, my little sister, she works for a company doing their social media. And she's like, Kelsey, you need to be on social media more. Like, you need to do these kind of posts, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but Sabrina, my life is boring. Like, I'm an author. Like, there's nothing visual about it. Like, I'm just at the computer. Like, that doesn't like lend itself to good content. And she's like, no, you're making too many excuses. I'm like, you're right. This is my resistance showing up, trying to get me not to post. We have to overcome the resistance and realize like being an author is aspirational. Even if it doesn't look super cool, like on a video, it is cool, So I should be posting. So it's all about reframing things in your mind so that your thoughts, your beliefs, your energy is really helping you to achieve your goals and is synonymous with them and on board with them. Because what happens for most people is they have these amazing goals, dreams, desires, but they don't even know what their resistance is. So they're blocked and they don't realize. And then if you don't know what it is, you can't really do anything about it.
What I'm hearing is what it's not only mindset, but you're also including the body, how one feels, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Very, I guess we can say holistic.
Yeah.
Um, for someone who has never heard of manifestation alignment, and this is like a first thing, and they're like, "Whoa, what the hell is this?" And they're probably thinking, "Well, I think I'm aligned, right? I'm aligned, but maybe they're not. Maybe they don't look. I mean, even me, like, am I aligned? Shit. What are some questions one can maybe ask themselves, or maybe some red flags that will help identify that alignment wouldn't be a bad thing?"
Yeah. Okay. So let's say you have a goal and it's you're not noticing progress. Okay, so maybe you've wanted this thing for years, like you're trying, but you're self sabotaging. You don't have the energy for it. You don't know why you're procrastinating so hard. Like things like that would tell you that maybe there's a little bit of a blockage here that could be worked through. And then in the absence of the resistance, when you work through that, alignment is like a natural consequence. So it's not like, oh, I have to try super hard to align with my goals. It's like you have to undo whatever's stopping you from being aligned with the goals. And then once you undo that, then you're naturally more aligned. Because, like, in a high vibrational state, in a high energy state, if you're open to receive, like, you're aligned with a lot of good potentials and possibilities naturally, right? You don't have to be like, I want to manifest every single good thing in my life. Like good things just come to you. So I think the goal is to just notice when and where you're feeling stuck and then get curious about, why am I like not letting any person pass the second date with me? Why am I not asking for a raise when I've wanted one forever? Like getting curious about those things where you've been feeling a little stuck without judgment. Big caveat. You got to do this without the self judgment. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. Just genuine curiosity, like, okay, is there any part of me that maybe feels threatened by my goal? Is there any part of me that's just not on board because of something that happened in the past? Is there a belief here that I can't do it because of something that has happened before or something someone told me about myself? Like, there's so many different ways it can show up, which is why I had to write a whole book on it. But really, the idea is, okay, am I feeling stuck? Let's explore why with curiosity, with love, with compassion. And then with the awareness, you can start to kind of work through it, work on it. Or if it's just like a shitty belief, throw it in the garbage.
Well, I really like what you were saying about, you're on, you have your goal. You're just so, it sounds like you can be so close, but there's just something blocking you. And I was just thinking, um, I don't play games, but I do. I do those online games sometimes because like when I'm doing the editing, like it takes a while for like the file to
Right. Everything's
render.
loading.
It's loading. So it's like, what? I'll go on those online free games. And there's one that I play where it's like a puzzle. And it's like it's like a strategic. You have to put each piece where it belongs.
Mhm.
And the goal is to get them all in the right section. And I'm like, I feel like I'm so close, but I can't. Sometimes I'm like, gosh, it won't. And I ultimately sometimes I don't like cheating, but sometimes I have to. I don't pay, but I use the ads. I go through the ad, and what it'll do is the game will go back to a place where it'll remove like a block, and now you can find the sequence. And sometimes it'll take me like an hour, 2 hours, but as long as I have that block from the past or that that mismatch, no matter how hard I try to get to my goal, I won't be able to. So I have to go like it's like sometimes 15 steps back, but only when I go through those 15 steps back and fix it, only then am I able uh to reach my goal. Is it kind of like that? Am I getting the right picture, Lo?
Yeah, that's a really good metaphor. Very poetic, would totally work in a book. Love it.
Okay, so when someone is now they're aware, I could really go through some manifestation coaching. How do they reach you? Like, is there a website or?
Yeah, usually. So I don't even like advertise my coaching that much so that I know for sure that like the people who are meant to find me, they just find me. Like they'll be like, oh, a friend who worked with you a while back said I should see you. Or like, I'm friends with this podcaster who knows about your work. He told me to see you. Or maybe they'll find me on Instagram or something or listen to my podcast. But yeah, if you just go to kelseyaida.com/coaching, you can see like my offerings there and some testimonials and different stuff that I've helped people with. But it's kind of hard to put a pin in my work and give it just like one sentence because everyone has such different goals and such a different journey. But the the bulk of what I do for people is I help them think better and I help them feel better and I help them to release any resistance that they have to the life that they want so they can really go for it wholeheartedly and not have this like push, pull, start, stop, why am I stuck energy.
And it sounds like you really help people in finding the right energy in their life to reach their goals. But my question for you is, has your energy changed while you're helping others?
Yeah. It feels right when I help others, I guess. It feels aligned, for lack of a better word, the trigger word, right? It feels like I'm doing something good, purposeful, almost sometimes like helping my old self, the way that I healed, like helping people heal. And a lot of what I do in the actual sessions is, we talk things through, we help shift thoughts and beliefs and stuff, but a lot of it is processing like dense emotions or heavy emotions or feelings that people have been resisting or suppressing because a lot of what blocks people's manifestations or helps like suppress their energy is just not being willing to feel what's there, like their truth. They're not connected to it because it's scary, right? We don't want to feel pain. We don't want to feel uncomfortable. But when you have someone who can hold the space for you and make it okay, like, okay, for 5 minutes we're just gonna like breathe through this and let it run through your body, not judging it, not connecting to the story that caused the pain, but just letting it do its thing. Like when you let that energy move in your body, emotions, energy in motion, like when you let it move freely without restricting it, it knows how to process and heal itself. But often we don't give it the time of day. We don't give it the space. We don't allow ourselves to be sad for 5 minutes. We don't allow ourselves to be frustrated for 5 minutes, right? Like, I don't have time for that. Life's too short. I don't want to go there. What if I get stuck in that feeling? It's like, what if you actually just felt what you were feeling and then you felt better? 99% of the time, if you just feel what's actually trying to come up and out, it will come out. And then on the other side, you have relief. And from there, you're more aligned with what you want. Because here's the thing, you can't resist how you're feeling and be open to the blessings that you're asking for in your life. Like resistance keeps you closed, period. The end. You can't be resisting this, but open to this. So it's like, okay, let's not resist how we're feeling. Let's not resist our personal truths. Let's not resist what we really want. And then see how good life can be on the other side of that.
Well, I'm hearing a lot of wisdom from what you're sharing, and I'm just curious because, like, for me, like sometimes I'm on a good path, I'm on a good
Mhm.
journey, but there are sometimes obstacles and challenges. And my question for you is, since you're on this path of purpose and helping others, what are some challenges that you've had to overcome?
Yeah. There's always challenges. I mean, for example, with the manifesting fix, my book, my most recent book, like with my other books in true Kelsey Aida fashion, the opportunity just came to me. They asked me to write the books and they already had the concept and the title. And this is a book that the idea came to me like over a decade ago. And I was writing a blog post about why the law of attraction works for some people, but not other people. And like, what's the difference? What are these blockages? And I was like, damn, this is a pretty long blog post. This would probably be a really good book. So then I wrote the outline for the book. I titled it tentatively Why the Law of Attraction Works for Some People, but Not You. And for a decade, I was like working on it, ideating, pausing. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Whatever, like battling my own resistance. And then last year, I was like, it's time. The book, it wants to be born. Like, I just know it. But I don't have a literary agent. And to be traditionally published, you basically need to secure an agent. Then the agent goes and pitches it to the publishers. In order to even get an agent in nonfiction, you have to write a super long ass book proposal, which is like a business plan for the book, why you should be the one to write it, why it needs to exist now, the gap in the market that your book is filling, like all this stuff. It's like writing a book before you write the book. The outline of the book, a couple chapter samples from the book. I had never done any of this. So I was kind of scared. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, YouTube University, I'm going to learn how to write a book proposal. I'm going to send it out to agents. I got 5 no's, which was, disheartening, but I knew that like that's how it is. You're going to get a lot of no's before you get the right yes. Then I got a yes from my agent, Steve. He's great. Then he has to shop it to publishers. We got 12 no's before we got a yes. Okay. And every no, I'm like trying not to waver because I'm like, oh, the dream is dead. Nobody wants to buy the manuscript. The book's not going to get published. And then someone would be like, oh, we're interested. We might make an offer. Like, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about it. So I was like, the dream is alive, like just riding on circumstance. Like, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Is all my hard work and decade of like ideating this book ever going to pay off? Is it going to be worth it? Am I just following some pipe dream? But, reminding myself like J.K. Rowling got a bunch of no's before she got a yes. Like, that's just the publishing industry. So then I reframed it so I wouldn't have resistance. And I was like, I welcome the no's because every no brings me closer to the one yes that I need. Only need one, right? So then finally got a yes with a publisher, Macmillan, which is a big 5 publisher, which is like a big deal in publishing. So then I was like, the dream is alive, right? Someone wants to publish my book. And then even when I was writing the book, I was like, is my writing good enough? Is my voice too casual? Like, this is a big time publisher. Like, they publish the artist way. Like, am I as good as her? Like, comparison, overthinking, the works, like perfectionism to the nine. Like, all my worst personality traits just came all the way up to the surface. But, we worked through it with compassion. And even though the whole process has been a little bit scary because I feel like this book is going to be like bigger than the other ones and more people are going to read it, I just hold myself in fear and I do it anyway. I don't let the fear stop me. And I think that's the difference, right? It's like fear itself is not the problem, but if you're letting the fear stop you, then it is a blockage.
Yeah, that is, if you let the fear stop you, that is a problem. It is a blockage, most certainly. But it seems like you're not just going forward, but you're also carrying awareness of, your internal life, your soul, your mind, all of that, which I think is something beautiful that I think everyone should have an awareness of. I think this world would be so much better.
Yeah, because people don't talk about like how hard it is to actually go for your biggest dreams and like how challenging it will be externally and internally. And you have to have the fortitude and the awareness and the self-compassion and the mental pivots to be able to like go through the entire process. Otherwise, you're just going to crumble.
Well, I wanted to take a break from the books, and I want to get back to that in a moment. But right now, I wanted to put some attention on the podcast because you have the podcast High Vibe in it. Tell us, how did it start and what is it all about?
Yeah, High Vibin' It is a spiritual self-help podcast for the girlies, but any queens who want to come hang out is fine. And we talk a lot about manifestation, self-love, healing, and it's me when I say we, it's me and my co-host Lindsay Robinson. She's a hypnotherapist, so I don't know how much you know about hypnotherapy, but they are really like subconscious mind experts. So she's like the subconscious mind lady. I'm the manifestation alignment lady. So we have some really good conversations just to help you live your best life on the topics of sometimes relationships, sometimes manifesting money. We have guests on to talk about different stuff, guest experts, other authors, and things like that. And it really started, well, one, I had written it down that I wanted to have a podcast. This was years and years ago. I was like, yeah, I like chit chat and it's a good medium. I would love to have a podcast to keep spreading the good vibes and the medicine. And I don't know, just the perfect opportunity didn't really present itself. I wasn't super inspired to just like start a podcast out of nowhere. And my friend at the time, Lindsay Robinson, who I had met her because she interviewed me for this summit that she was doing, we were just always having the good conversations behind the scenes. And she got offered to have a show that was actually on Voice America. It was a live broadcasted show online. And she was too shy. She was like, I don't want to have my own show. I don't like being in the spotlight. This actually sounds like my worst nightmare. And they were like, well, you could have a co host. And then she was like, I know the perfect person who would want to co host a show with me. She calls me up. She's like, should we do a podcast? They're offering us this show. I was like, yes, girl, this is the one that's been on my vision board. Perfect. Like it's here. So I was the one that really like rallied her to do it. And we've been doing it ever since 2019. Now we're about 270 something episodes deep,
Wow.
almost 300 episodes, 500,000 downloads later. We're streamed in like most countries. It's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Is it only available on podcast form or is it also like on YouTube and other platforms?
It's also on YouTube. So if you search High Vibin, no G, we're too cool for the G. High Vibin It, you'll find us on YouTube, which we just started YouTube, so it's small, but you can watch the videos there. Or on our Patreon, people get the video version and it's like extended. So we have a longer conversation for them. And then on Spotify, on Apple, everywhere else, it's the audio format.
Awesome. So, hey, I wanted to go back to the book, which I said you have a few books already out. Before we discuss your upcoming book, can you tell us about the books you already have published?
Yeah. So my first book, I don't have it here on the shelf to show you guys, but I self-published it and it's called hashtag Actually I Can, the Art of Affirming Yourself to Greatness. And it's basically an affirmation Bible, but from the stance of like stop faking it till you make it. Stop saying stupid affirmations that you don't believe that make you feel like a liar. And instead, say things that are actually true and expansive, and it will take you further in life. So it's kind of like an affirmation guidebook where there's a chapter on affirmations for love, affirmations for money, affirmations for health, affirmations for confidence. And then depending how you feel about that area of your life in that moment, you would flip to a page and it's like, these are the affirmations if you're feeling shitty about your love life that will help you feel less shitty. And then the next page is like, once you're feeling less shitty, here's some affirmations that will help you feel optimistic. And then once you're feeling optimistic, the next page is, here's some affirmations that will help you feel super excited about it. So it basically uses, have you ever heard of the emotional guidance scale from Abraham Hicks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it kind of combines the emotional guidance scale with affirmations. And the whole point is to not try and jump the vibrational Grand Canyon and think, I'm a millionaire when you feel super poor. It's to feel less poor, to feel more expansive, to feel more aligned with money, but also say things that your subconscious mind is not going to flag as untrue. So it's really like the rebel's guide to affirmations, not faking it till you make it, making them authentic and making them actually work for you.
Okay. And what other books did you have out?
Yeah, sorry, that was a long explanation. Then the second one that came out was published by Simon and Schuster. It's called Affirmations for Happiness, and we actually pulled an affirmation before we started recording, and it was about resistance. Spoiler alert! And it has 200 positive affirmations for a joyful mindset every day. But again, they're not like, I'm the happiest person. Oh, this is the best day ever. They're more grounded, more real, more relaxing. And each page, you can just flip to a page and then find the affirmation that you need in that moment, kind of like an oracle deck. And then the next one that came out was my pocket guide to manifestation. I can grab it to see. And this has all my witchy secrets and favorite manifesting methods for all areas of life. So if you want to manifest love, there's like practices for that. If you want to manifest money, practices for that. If you want to manifest health, happiness, whatever, all the chapters have like an intention or an area of life. And then my favorite practices. So like meditations, scripting practices, resistance releasing practices, crystals you can use. It's a cute little guidebook. And then lastly, Letters to the Universe is a scripting journal where I have my special scripting process where you get really clear about what you want, why you want it, maybe what's been stopping you, kind of work through that. And then you write a letter to the universe. And then it has perforated pages that you can rip out your letter and then get witchy with it. So if you want to burn it or put it away in a little jar or like tape it up somewhere where you can see it, it basically has my little method printed 50 times. So each time you have a new desire, you can go through the process, write your letter, and then do whatever you want with your letter.
Beautiful. And now you have a book that is coming up. Can you share with us, is there a title and is there a release date?
Yes. So the title is called The Manifesting Fix. And we're still working on the subtitle as we record this because we're recording this way earlier than you'll hear it. But it's basically about why the law of attraction works for some people, but not you, why it's not working for you yet. And it's a resistance troubleshooting guide. So instead of like more manifesting techniques, which we don't need because there's so many on TikTok, I already wrote a book about it. There's so many books about like, do this to manifest, do this to manifest. No, we don't need more techniques. What we need is, why is it not working? Why is my energy not aligned with my goals? And the manifesting fix will help to show you what your personal blockages are, how to work through those, and then you'll be in alignment with your goals, and then you can actually go for them. So that one's coming out end of September. And by the time you hear this episode, it will be already available for pre-order. So make sure you go to kelseyaida.com/book and you can pre-order it there. And I think I'm going to give away like some bonus chapters, some bonus goodies to go with the book for anyone who pre-orders it. And I will be doing a book tour, which will be listed on that page too. So you can see what cities we're going to. If you want to come hang out with me in person, I'll sign your books. And yeah, it'll be really fun.
Thank you so much for sharing all of your the beautiful work that you do, helping others and to finding a bit of purpose and a bit of direction in life. And now for this part of the episode of the podcast, I always like to ask each guest the same question, and that is for you, Kelsey. What is your truth that heals?
Something that I always come back to, and we touched on this briefly in the beginning, is that feeling is healing. And I know it's so hard to embrace your emotions, and it can feel so just like, I'm going to die. I can't make it. But I promise you that feeling your feelings is the way. It will clear so much resistance for you, it will clear so much density. You'll come to a more high vibrational place of relief, joy, happiness, and your feelings aren't trying to hurt you. So, feeling is healing. It'll help you live your dream life.
Well, thank you so much, Kelsey. And to the audience, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, which I hope you did, please feel free to share it so that other people may encounter the beautiful Truth That Heals presented by our guest today, Kelsey Aida. Also, if you're listening to this on Spotify or on Apple, please feel free to leave a review, hopefully 5 stars, and even comment, as that always helps out. And if you want to help me out, you can do so by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/truththath7. That always helps me out, and that helps me to just keep on making more episodes. So thank you to the audience for tuning in, and a special thank you to our guest today, Kelsey Aida, for sharing your Truth That Heals today.
Thank you. It was so fun.